Hello, listeners. How's it going? Welcome back to Chapter 1 and Beyond, and today is a mini half episode, I guess? I don't know. I don't know why I got this crazy idea to pick 6 books in the last Try It or Trash It episode, and there's a lot that I want to talk about because I've already read several off of that list. So yeah, get cozy, grab your drink. Let's chit chat a little bit. So yeah, in the prior episode, mini episode 5 for Try It or Trash It. If you are new here, welcome. What I do within this mini series is I have a random spinner wheel with all of my physical TBR books, and I do a spinny spin, and I pick books off of my shelf, and yeah, I try them out, and then if I am just not a fan of them, I will donate them to free little libraries in the area. So yeah, today's episode, since some of the books that I picked in the last episode were pretty bulky and lengthy and just all around some lengthier reads, I figured we can do a half episode of this. So, in the last episode, let's recap here. I had spun and got Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling. I also got Mistborn, Book One, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I also got Walden and On the Duty of Civil Disobedience by Henry David Thoreau. I also got Black Beauty by Anna Sewell, Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, and I also did a spinny spin and got A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. So, out of those books so far, I have visited 4 of them. So, I only have 2 books left. Um, so, I'm going to talk about my first DNF, and that was A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. So, this book has been on my shelf for some time, and I was willing to give it a go. Um, and I have to say, I think I got I think, according to my notes, I got only maybe 80 pages in and I DNF'd it. I just was not vibing with it, and life is too short to read books that just do not satisfy what I was looking for. So I have unfortunately, quote unquote, trashed it, and I have now put it in my pile of books that will be going to the Free Little Library in the area of Northeast Ohio. So, my thoughts are I did vibe with the whole witchy discovery, if you will. I was really into the character set that they had, but what I was not into was how drawn out and boring those first 80 pages were. It just felt very, very slow, and there was just something about it that I was like, I'm dreading picking this book up. So I knew going in that, um, I wanted to at least give it a go. But unfortunately, I just stopped and I'm donating it. So the second book that I have visited, I have not DNF'd this book on Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. So this is one of my classics, and I felt like I had to try this one because I've had this on my shelf for some time, and I have heard, that it's about a horse and about this family and the farm, and actually I thought it was great. Um, it was okay, and I liked it. I got through the whole thing. It was actually a really quick listen on audiobook. And I gave it a 3.5 star rating. So, um, and honestly, like, since my daughter, who loves animals like crazy, I actually gifted this to her over, the holiday. So now she owns a copy of this book. But yeah, it was a classic that I'm glad I visited. I am not getting rid of my copy because I have sworn to this promise to myself that if I have any sort of classics, eventually one of my kids are going to have to read this probably in the future in some way, shape, or form between like elementary school, middle school, or high school. So I will have, you know, a collection going here. So I am keeping it, even though I probably will never pick this copy up again. Who knows? I have no idea. But I was going back and forth between the audiobook and physically reading it. So I do own the Paper Mill Press copy that I was able to get off of Book Outlet for a steal because they always have their classic Paper Mill Press copies for like, five for $20 or whatever. And then if you get over a certain amount, not to do a free plug on them, but you get free shipping. So I mean, I usually get most of my books secondhand or through Book Outlet if I'm really vibing with the price on Book Outlet and if I can afford it. So yeah. So let's see. The next book that I had picked up was Walden and On the Duty of Civil Disobedience by Henry David Thoreau. So this is another classic that I had on my shelf that I've been hearing, all kinds of things about. Um, a lot of it was like, hey, kind of go in with the mentality that it's kind of like drier material, or like you need to use your brain to read this. Not that you wouldn't use your brain with any other book, but it's more of like an intellect type read, if you will. I gave it a 3-star rating. Um, I really liked On the Duty of Civil Disobedience, the essay that's at the end. What I was like, I'm glad I read it, okay, but some of the sections in Walden, I was like, these are really lengthy, wordy, like rants, at least to me. So, um, I am not a literature buff per se. I did not major in literature in college, so take it my opinion with what you will. But um, I'm glad that I read it, but I will not be picking Walden up anytime in the future. Now, can I see myself reading On the Duty of Civil Disobedience in the future? Probably, because it was a very interesting essay that that they included in that. I thought for a while before knowing too much about Henry David Thoreau, I thought it was all just one of his pieces, but then I'm finding out that it's two separate. So they just had it in the book. So technically, I knocked out two books in one. So one is, you know, kind of short story esque, but it's considered quote unquote essay. So, um, so yeah, that one got a 3-star rating. I will be keeping it because obviously it's one of my classic collections. And then I have also been reading and actually still reading Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling. Um, right now, I feel like the rating is like a 5-star read. I am really vibing with this book. I've actually been picking up quite a few dystopian books, which is really wild, given, you know, the current day stuff that's going on in the US. But um, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm really liking the character Rose and Grant that is in this book. It takes place in like a very northern region of Canada, I believe is the region. It's like very remote and very interesting. Um, but yeah, um, it was not what I expected, but at the same time too, I'm loving it. I can't get enough of it, and I'm really really mad that I still don't have this completely read. So, I mean, it is January 22nd right now as I'm recording this, so I do still have some time to get it in before the end of January. Um, will I probably get Mistborn Book One, The Final Empire in Dark Matter in this month? I'm not really sure. So, I'm kind of going in thinking that some of these will probably filter into February, which is fine. I have no timeline at this point. So maybe that's why it's taking me a little bit longer. But I mean, I feel like with some of these, they were, like Camp Zero was a much smaller read. It's under 300 pages. Walden and on the civil disobedience, on the duty of civil disobedience, that was, I think, around 400, maybe less pages. And then a discovery of witches. I mean, like I said, I DNF'd that at like 80 some pages. That was a pretty beefy size book. But Dark Matter and Mistborn's pretty thick, but I do have the audiobook to help me along with that. And then Dark Matter, I am actually really looking forward to Dark Matter. But that's another quick read, under 400 pages. So yeah, but you know, but yeah, I would say if I were to tell you you absolutely have to pick up a book, I would definitely say out of all of them, Camp Zero by Michelle Min Sterling is like kind of high on that list right now. So um so yeah, and it was one of my book of the month picks. So it's nice that I'm getting through that stack because I had a lot of them. And I'm really liking this series because it is kind of pushing me out of that comfort zone of like reading stuff. So I know this was a very, very quick episode, but I wanted to give you guys at least an update on where I'm at with my list. Let me know your thoughts on the books that I have mentioned. I would love to hear from you. If you are liking and loving everything that I'm doing, please like and subscribe the podcast because that helps me tremendously with knowing that people are actually existent and out there. So I appreciate all the love and support and take care. And I will see you in the actual full episode once we get through the rest of these books. Okay? All right. Take care. Bye.